2, and 1. So brain drain is a symptom of a deeper problem that the Philippines face. So the tipping point in this debate is not about which team proves some big impact about the Philippines suddenly becoming a first world country that has all of the technological impacts that all of the other teams want. Because that's honestly a debate outside of this motion. Rather, the simple tipping point in this debate is about an incentive structure for young Filipino scientists to come back to the country. So to be clear, right, opening half and CG largely skipped a major part of their burden, which is to provide clear tiebacks to the wants, interests, incentives, and capacity of these particular group of people to pave the way and to actually prove all of their impacts. So it's not an actor motion, government whip is correct, but their inability to ask the simple question of what these people actually want make their case severely lacking in persuasion. Insofar as this crucial piece of characterization only comes from CO, I think it's very clear that Joseph's extension clearly takes the round. Two simple questions that Joseph answers that the other teams don't. One, given that young Filipinos have better opportunities outside of the country, why would any Filipino want to come back? Two, given that the Philippines has a track record of corruption, why would they trust that this policy works? Let's first engage in OG's characterization of corruption and the way they try to gaslight you guys into saying that they have something positive. The core characterization of PM is to say that it's going to be ineffective and it's likely to be consumed in corruption. Look, let's assume worst case scenario. In our worst case scenario, where corruption is rampant, the Department of Science and Technology has the most incentive to be the least corrupt. Like, let's think about it. All of these sectors, as per what Joseph says, target specifically STEM kids who actually do care and are likely to be benevolent in their intent. Like, this policy is all about choice and giving leverage to these people. Just by virtue of them having any of the three benefits found in the info slides, it undercuts a lot of the harm that OG says is so important. But even if you don't believe that, right? OG runs a cherry-picked case of benefits that literally only occur on their side of the world. Like, the problem that exists right now is that there are no scientists here, and the small amount of scientists that do actually exist here leave. PM literally goes around in a circle by saying the solution to no scientists is to have scientists. Like, how do you make and sustain these policies if all of these people leave? It doesn't make any sense. Note, if they are correct, I am not sure why their side can get any positive impact to the problem that they particularly choose. That sounds great when you say that we have to solve the root problem, but that it sounds great in debate land, but they literally have zero fiat to do it, nor do they weigh the comparative trade-offs that actually happen as a consequence of that particular policy. What then does Joseph say to actually outweigh that? Just on characterization, this shifts the extent of harm that is believable to attribute to OG and CG. All of his three reasons as to why it's likely not going to be as bad as OG and CG think literally prove the reason as to why it's going to be somewhat okay and it will somewhat work, at least to the extent where it will actually benefit these particular scientists. The second core premise they give is to explain that these Filipinos probably don't want to come back because they left for a good reason, e.g. discrimination, e.g. better opportunities elsewhere. Look, I actually think this is the best argument coming from government bench, and I don't think opening clearly is able to take out this idea. So let's do that in CO. On group and actor interest, a lot of the people who move to other opportunities on average probably miss their family. DLO said this, so give the credit to them. We don't really need it. But where I think Joseph wins this debate is on explaining the comparative and why any option outside of this particular policy is going to be bad. Because OO and CG presume nationalistic pride. We don't really care about nationalism. We care about pragmatics and the other opportunities that are going to be worse for you. One, on the comparative, moving to other countries, especially now, is getting more and more difficult to justify. The Trump administration is heavily pushing OFWs out. A lot of countries in Europe are becoming a lot more anti-migration. The point is, the world is turning against globalization. These young scientists are probably interested in safeguarding their positions and literally not getting iced by ice. Two, the reason why you left, because of lack of financial opportunities, is literally the reason as to why you would probably accept this particular opportunity. Like, now is the precise moment where the government is supporting you. CG says that is something that will happen. Three, you just become a bastion and pillar for your local community. You get a broad perspective from educated people to apply in local provinces as per the case and extension of CG. Next, let's talk about CG's extension and why they inherently prove our case. One, CG concedes that the DOST will likely be favorable to the scientists that avail of these services. What does that actually mean? Because I don't think CG realizes how great of an opportunity that is. It's on our side where you get all of the benefits surrounding these scientists. They get a favorable position in the country. These are all positive things that exist that they say we get. So I'm not sure why the harm exists for these scientists to begin with. CG doesn't explain why the gap in the budget they say is so harmful. I don't mean to be glib, but the debate is literally about the trade-offs we are okay with taking. Two, let's flip Government Whip's example. If I was the best electrical engineer in the world and I go back to my local community, that probably means I'm in the best possible position to lead the only electrical grid in the province that Government Whip lives in. What this means is that A, you as a scientist are safe, but B, you as this province have a great worker and educated individual in your province. POI, go.
You still didn't answer the question. How do you make the Philippines have the capacity to sustain this program insofar as you also consider budget cut? Notice that opportunity doesn't equate to capacity.
It's literally found in your case where you said that all of the people that will benefit from this policy are probably going to be the scientists. If we're going to talk about budget, Joseph already answered that POI. You have to be charitable and assume something will happen. Lastly, let's explain the delineation from our opening. I don't want a knife. I'm not going to say their case sucks. I think it's pretty okay. But my biggest problem with opening opposition is that the burden of proof required to believe them is something that's quite hard to buy. All of their impacts sound good, but the analysis that they give presumes best case scenario about people always wanting to buy in all of the time and it working most of the time. CO delineated by proving the mid case. Why, especially when it's not perfect, it's still likely to be beneficial for these scientists. The first weighing metric is just on specificity and inherentness. Sure, you're not gonna improve the Philippines magically and all of that stuff by magically having this policy happen. But what it gives is that it gives these scientists a place where they can turn to, and it gives the Philippines and all of the local municipalities that these scientists live in a chance to actually get all of the benefits of the education that they got somewhere else. For all of those reasons, very, very proud to oppose. Thank you.